Hello there. Today I'm continuing my look at the wines from this producer Koehler Ruprecht from Germany, from the Pfalz, and having already looked at a Kallstadter Saumagen cabinet Trocken, this is the Spatlese Trocken from the same vineyard in the same vintage, 2020. So it'd be interesting to see what the comparison there is, because the Predicat levels mean that this is a wine picked as a late harvest rather than so with additional ripeness rather than just at full ripeness as the cabinet would have been. The way the winery describe this is that the cabinet is picked at a stage where the berries are a pale yellow, whereas the Spatlese is picked at a stage where the berries have become a golden yellow. Certainly when we look at the wine in the glass, it looks darker. This is a medium yellow, quite lemony. Has a lot more presence than the cabinet. I'm still not particularly seeing tears forming on the glass, although this is slightly more alcoholic. It's 12.5%. But again, as a Trocken, I'm expecting it to be dry, so there's not sugar adding weight to the wine. Just as far as the wines are made, the cabinet and the Spatlese are made in exactly the same way. The winery does multiple passes through the vineyard. They might do 5 or so to pick the grapes at the varying levels of ripeness. The wines get a brief overnight soak, having been crushed. The skins are left in the juice to allow the extraction of flavour and a little bit of texture, and then the next day they're drained off into old oak barrels where they'll ferment and then age through until probably the following May, when they'll be racked off, gently filtered, blended and then bottled. The wine is then left to age in bottle, and this is a style of wine that's designed for long aging, I guess, to give development and bottle age to the wine. So let's have a look at the aroma, shall we? Gosh, there's quite a richness to that. The cabinet had a sort of a much more lifted lime flavour, or aroma, sorry, and this is much more sort of peachy and intense. There's a greater weight to the intensity of the wine on the nose. There again, there are mineral elements behind this. Not so much saline, but maybe sort of a tiny touch of sort of whetstone minerality on the aromas at any rate. So let's have a taste. Tasting that, because this is a Trocken, we're still looking at a dry wine. I mean, I think sometimes people expect that from cabinet to Spatlese there will be an increase in sweetness, and it's not unusual that there is, but these wines are all completely dry. The dryness is backed up by crisp acidity, although the acid doesn't seem quite as obvious as with the cabinet, because there's a much greater weight and roundness of fruit. Again, there's an apricotiness, although there is an initial sort of limey, fresh fruit rush to this. More sort of waxy, textural lime, though, than lifted sort of lime flower, and it's not as perfumed as some more sort of elegant, lighter style Rieslings might be. And there may just be the start of the development of a slight amount of sort of petrol-y aroma to the wine. So let's have another taste. There's a certain unctuousness to the ripeness. It's almost like sort of, if you think about sort of ripe peach and a touch of peach stone to it. That could be the minerality coming through, I suppose. Length is good, and there's a much broader flavour on the finish, whereas the cabinet was mineral and limey and had quite a sort of a lightweight, elegant finish. This is much more rounded. I guess there's a little more alcohol to support the flavours, and the flavours have richness. And again, the roundness of texture makes me think there's a certain amount of glycerol in the wine as well that would be produced during fermentation. I guess a wine that has more body to combine with foods. I mean, this would be fantastic with hard cheeses or something like that, something with a slight amount of maybe saltiness that would complement the minerality of the wine quite beautifully. The flavours along, this is still quite a young wine, and I'm sure it will develop a lot more of that developed sort of probably richer, more honeyed lime notes, and probably a sort of a petrol-y, waxy development note as well. So yes, that's Kallstadter, Saumagen, Spatlese Trocken 2020 from Koehler Ruprecht. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, do please join us again soon. Bye now.